beautiful thing I think about Elvis is that, well, he's just sort of turned everybody into everybody. It doesn't matter, is the guy black or white anymore. And maybe even you can do it.
The world had never seen anything like him. The voice, the moves, the raw energy. Elvis Presley didn't just sing, he shook the foundations of music itself. With every hip shake and electrifying performance, he sparked a revolution, redefining fame and forever changing pop culture. But behind the legend was a man driven by passion, struggle, and an unbreakable bond with his audience. This is the story of Elvis Presley, his rise, his reign, and his everlasting legacy.
Crowd's ready. Couple minutes till call.
Yeah, just want to breathe a little before we go.
Thing you need in the room?
Just quiet. That's all.
You got it.
Thanks.
Here's Elvis Presley.
Rhythm rising slow, like a river flow.
Elvis Aaron Presley was born on January 8, 1935, in a modest home in Tupelo, Mississippi. He entered the world alongside his identical twin brother, Jesse Garon Presley, who was stillborn. Though he never met Jesse, Elvis often felt a deep connection to him, believing it shaped his destiny in ways he couldn't fully understand. Growing up, Elvis was inseparable from his parents, Vernon and Gladys Presley, who struggled to provide for their only child. Money was always tight, and opportunities in Tupelo were limited, but his parents instilled in him a deep love for music and faith. In 1948, at the age of 13, Elvis and his family packed up and moved to Memphis, Tennessee, in search of a better life. They settled in public housing at Lauderdale Courts, a low-income apartment complex. It was in Memphis that Elvis was exposed to a rich melting pot of musical influences: gospel from the churches, country music from the radio, and rhythm and blues from Beale Street. He absorbed it all, unknowingly crafting the sound that would one day make him famous. Elvis's love for music was more than just a passing interest, it was his passion. In July 1953, at the age of 18, he walked into Sun Studio and paid $4 to record a two-song demo, My Happiness and That's When Your Heartaches Begin. It was meant as a gift for his mother, but since the Presleys didn't even own a record player, she may never have heard it. The recording caught the attention of Sam Phillips, the owner of Sun Records, who was searching for a white singer with the soul and sound of black music. Elvis fit the bill perfectly. A year later, in 1954, he recorded That's All Right, and from that moment, everything changed.
And early next morning, he brought my letter.
Elvis's first live performances were unlike anything audiences had ever seen. At the Overton Park Shell in Memphis, he introduced his signature rubber legs dance moves, causing an eruption of screams from the female audience. It was raw, energetic, and completely new. His blend of country, gospel, and R&B made him stand out. It wasn't long before he caught the attention of Colonel Tom Parker, a promoter who would soon become his lifelong manager. By 1955, Parker had secured Elvis a contract with RCA Records. His first RCA single, Heartbreak Hotel, released in 1956, soared to the top of the charts, cementing him as a national sensation.
You get him, you understand? You'll get the whole thing. Everybody will stand in line, and I went, hey, what are the Rich Brothers doing here? What are they doing? I was a young man. If you want an autograph, would you stand in the back there? I don't care who you are. Everybody wants...
I'm Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley!
His television performances on shows like The Ed Sullivan Show were controversial, his hip-shaking dance moves deemed too suggestive. By his third appearance, censors demanded he be filmed only from the waist up. But controversy only fueled his fame, and the hysteria around him grew. Hollywood took notice, and soon Elvis was not just a rock and roll star, but a movie star as well, making his debut in Love Me Tender 1956.
But when the movie opened, some film critics took pot shots at my acting. Still, the picture did real well at the box office, thanks to the fans.
At just 22 years old, in 1957, Elvis bought his beloved Graceland mansion for $102,500. The sprawling estate would become a symbol of his success and his sanctuary for the rest of his life. But fame came with scrutiny. Elvis's style put him at the center of controversy with the older crowd, including politicians, producers, and even the FBI, who kept a file on him due to concerns about his influence on American youth. Even other artists, his sound was his own version of the black gospel music and rhythm and blues that he loved growing up, but for white audiences, it was something new and different. Yet, nothing could stop his rise. In 1958, at the peak of his career, Elvis was drafted into the U.S. Army. Fans were devastated, but he dutifully served his country, stationed in Germany. While overseas, he suffered a great personal loss. His mother, Gladys, passed away at the age of 46. It was a devastating blow. During his time in Germany, Elvis met 14-year-old Priscilla Beaulieu. Though their relationship wouldn't become official for years, she would later become his wife. Elvis was honorably discharged from the Army in March 1960 and wasted no time reclaiming his throne.
Inside at Fort Dix, a press conference was set up. To start things off, the photographers asked that I shake hands with Colonel Parker. Some fans also managed to get in, and I was surprised that one girl actually slipped her phone number in my jacket while I was trying to pay attention to questions from the press.
He returned to the studio, releasing Elvis's Back and continuing his movie career. But the music landscape had shifted. By the mid-60s, the Beatles and other British invasion bands had taken over, and Elvis found himself trapped in a cycle of making formulaic movies with lackluster songs. He was still successful, but his passion was fading. Then came the turning point, the 1968 comeback special. Dressed in black leather, Elvis took the stage for a television special that reignited his career. It was raw, electric, and a powerful reminder of why he was the king. In 1969, he returned to live performances, dominating Las Vegas with record-breaking shows. His resurgence reached new heights with Elvis, Aloha from Hawaii, a concert special that was broadcast via satellite to over 1.5 billion people worldwide. Though he was back on top professionally, his personal life was unraveling. Elvis married Priscilla in 1967, and they welcomed their daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, in 1968. However, their marriage was plagued with infidelity, and they separated in 1972, finalizing their divorce in 1973. Heartbroken and struggling with the pressures of fame, Elvis increasingly relied on prescription drugs.
We'll cut out of here. Look
on one condition. Now, the kids here have been expecting you to do something, so if you don't want to dance, sing. I know you can do that.
Okay, but then we cut out, right?
Right.
Come on, everybody, and snap your fingers now. Come on, everybody, and clap your hands real loud.
Though he's known as the king of rock and roll, Elvis recorded more gospel songs than any other type of music. He even won 3 Grammy Awards, all for his gospel recordings. His health deteriorated rapidly. He gained weight, his performances became erratic, and in 1973, he suffered multiple overdoses, one of which left him in a coma.
He didn't do cocaine, he didn't do marijuana, he didn't do all the hard drugs, but he was addicted to prescribed medication.
Despite his declining condition, he continued performing. On June 26, 1977, Elvis took the stage one last time at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. He was overweight, exhausted, and visibly unwell, yet he delivered a hauntingly beautiful performance of Unchained Melody. It was his farewell to the world. He played the piano himself and delivered a powerful, emotional rendition, even though he was struggling physically.
Elvis Presley died here about 3:30 this afternoon. He had been found in his bathroom, unconscious, not breathing, was brought to the hospital by ambulance. Efforts to revive him in the ambulance and efforts to revive him here at the hospital were unsuccessful.
Just weeks later, on August 16, 1977, Elvis was found unresponsive in his Graceland bathroom. He was pronounced dead at the age of 42. His excessive lifestyle had caught up with him. Fans around the world were in shock. Over 25,000 people gathered at Graceland to pay their final respects. His funeral was a grand affair, and he was buried in a white jumpsuit, his blue silk shirt, and his iconic TCB, taking care of business ring. Even in death, Elvis's presence was undeniable. Today, Graceland remains one of the most visited homes in America, second only to the White House. Over 600,000 fans visit each year, leaving flowers, teddy bears, and even peanut butter and banana sandwiches on his grave. Elvis Presley was more than just a musician, he was a cultural revolution. He defined rock and roll, challenged societal norms, and left an imprint that will never fade. His voice, his moves, and his spirit continue to inspire generations. He didn't just change music, he changed the world. His records, performances, and movies made him a staple in pop culture. Even decades after his passing, new artists cover his songs, remixes keep his music alive, and tributes honor his influence. Elvis Presley isn't just a figure of the past, he is eternal. If you enjoy this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from music history. And as always, until next time, keep the music alive.
You ain't no friend of mine. Woo!